I have to go put on my rubber boots. Crap's getting too deep around here. Yeah, good morning. I'm gonna try to beat the heat and clean out a grain bin pretty early this morning. It's 6:15 and it's fairly cool, so try to get that done before it gets hot. I don't know, we might make this a 2-day affair if it gets very warm pretty quick, but got that going on this morning, and then we've got something pretty interesting happening after that, so just have to wait and make sure that happens. But yeah, should be a fun day. Looks like George and Larry are already here, but hey, I got their breakfast, so they're not gonna be too mad. Of course, George had me getting breakfast this morning. Morning.
Morning, sunshine.
And the good news is that bin is not quite down to the sweep yet. Haven't opened the intermediates yet, so should have at least about 500 bushel before we gotta get back in, start getting in there, which is good because I want to drink my coffee first. And the good news is that bin is not quite down to the sweep yet. Haven't opened the intermediates yet, so should have at least about 500 bushel before we gotta get back in, start getting in there, which is good because I want to drink my coffee first. George is the flow man today. Having some trouble getting that kind of like maybe that corn stopping up in there, like maybe something blocking, and then it'll break loose and it's about plugged up. George's man's the job. I think he can handle it. George, you're about to get barred. Number 2. Second one going. Oh well, time to get in the bin now. See, you got your wagon back from the mechanic.
Yeah, boy. Running like a new one.
Yep. What happened to your black truck? Is it at the mechanic shop now?
Not yet. I can't take it until the 29th.
It's going to the body shop, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, looky there, a farm model. Test weight's a little light on this corn. Larry's load was a little bit under 80,000, so we're going to load them a little bit heavier. Make sure we're getting full-size load in there. Several people have asked about Larry, who Larry is. Larry's a little camera shy, so you guys might see glimpses of him, but you're probably not going to see Larry talking on camera anytime soon.
Let's see if George overruns the truck.
We almost had a Cole the Corn Star moment. Spilled some corn, almost. But this is Brian's farming videos, and we don't do that. I'm joking, of course we spill corn from time to time. A couple of years ago, I ran 2,000 bushel out of the top of that bin on accident. I wish we were filming back then, but we weren't. Remember that?
Huh?
When some dipstick ran two truckloads out of the top of that bin? Well, we don't have much left, but it's raining, so guess we're on break. It's 10:13. Let's see if George thinks it's lunchtime yet. Break's over.
The blocks in there.
Well, George, we got done just in time.
Why is that?
Just in time for lunch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that in your sprayer?
No. Oh. Trying to clean up everything. Well, take the auger back over home, and like I said, clean up some of this stuff, and tearing out our loading ramp. Gonna redo some stuff with it, And, yeah, probably gonna get rained out here pretty soon. It's trying to rain right now. Looks like it's just gonna be one of the days. Like I said, we're sharing this out. We're going to try a little bit different unload system this year. But if you're interested, that whole platform and plate will be for sale. My email's in the video description, so just let me know. When we originally built this setup, we built it to where we could take this out fairly easy. So like those blocks, they are not cemented in the ground. They're just full of 57 or 411 or whatever kind of gravel it is. And like the whole idea was that we'd be able to tear this out and then put it back every fall if we wanted to. We haven't tore it out in the 3 years we've been using it. It held up pretty well. So, yeah, first time it's ever been tore out. Well, I missed it, but we dropped the plate. So if you're still interested in it, it's missing a handrail on one side. Just a mild little bend. Easy fix. Nailed it! Dad went ahead and went to those fields that were streaked real bad that I showed you in yesterday's video. He's going to attempt to right that wrong. So once they're finished cleaning this gravel up, I want to say there was about four dump truck loads to be about 80 tons of gravel to make that ramp. So try to save as much as we can. I smell a storm coming. Well, it rained just enough to basically screw up the day. There's puddles everywhere, but the sun's back out. It's humid as crap. Mid 80s now, so I don't know. That stinks. About the story of the year, though. Good morning, folks. Crop Scout 19 continues. We're going over to fly some bean fields, check for frog eye, and see what else we can get into today. And we're going to fly through this bean field, take a look at it. This field has had water in it from the river. River's right there. So see what kind of damage. And there's a couple low spots over there that I know will probably have some drowned out spots. Like I said, we're also checking for frog eye. These beans are still kind of little, but definitely don't want to get hit with that if we can avoid it. You can definitely see a distinct water line in the field, low spot. But you can also see where I switched varieties when I was planting this field. The beans are two different shades of color. The main way I do this is I'll just fly out to a few random points in the field. And I will drop the drone down as low as I can go. And then snap a couple quick pictures. And then usually I'll take them and blow them up on the computer to see if we can see any kind of disease on the leaves. Works pretty good in beans. It's pretty hard to do in corn just because a lot of times your disease in corn is lower than it's just harder to see because of the way the corn plant grows. But I'll drop this thing down until I can see the prop blast hitting the beans because your depth perception's a little bit off. I've only dropped one drone so far. One thing I'll also do is when I take a picture, I will also take a picture of where I'm at in the field, because like this is a 160 acre field, so you start taking pictures, say you take 10 different pictures of the field, well maybe only half that field really has frog eye. So I mean, it's good just to have a reference picture is what I would call it. Planter screw up right here. Yep, half the planter quit planting for a second right there. You can see the wheel tracks, and then you can definitely tell half the planter shut off for a second. Drones are nice, you can find all your screw ups. I know the first year we had a drone, this is our second drone we've had. The first one we had was, probably several years ago. I mean, like everybody, you get one, you think this thing is really cool because all of a sudden you're able to see different. I mean, having the ability to take an aerial picture of anything is pretty cool. I mean, but then after you get over that cool factor, it's like, well, how can I make money with this thing? Well, that first year we had it, I did this, and Dad had never been a big proponent of using fungicide in soybeans. He used to always thought it was kind of a waste of money. I flew through some fields, snapped a few pictures just like we're doing here, and discovered that we had frog eye in just about all the beans that were close to the river, which makes sense because it's always foggy over here in the morning. That's why I waited till 11 o'clock to do this. It was foggy. And by putting on that fungicide, we did a couple test strips. And by putting on that fungicide, we made 10 bushels to the acre consistently on average. Like we averaged 10 more bushels to the acre on fungicide ground versus non-fungicide ground. So, I mean, it definitely paid for that drone. I mean, we're going to fly this thing up to the front of the field and snap a couple more pictures, and it'll probably be out of battery. I was doing that one time with the old drone. I was trying to land it on a cardboard box. Maybe it was the case it came in. Either way, I got half of it on the box, the other half wrecked. Oh yeah, I definitely stole the black truck. Air conditioner works. But this may sound funny, but I'm very happy with how that corn in that spot looks. Only because that is a very low-lying area. It always floods out. We put a tile on there 2 years ago, and if it wasn't for that tile, we'd be losing about 6 or 7 more acres in that area, and there'd be a couple feet of water standing there. But I mean, in a normal year, that corn would have looked fine, but pace for record rainfall. So happy with what we got. They're growing. Double crops are looking good. Got done eating lunch. Had a lunch date today. Did you say much good? What do you mean no? What did we just do? Okay. How's your milkshake? Oh. Alright, we're fed. We're about to be caffeinated. So let's go back to looking at crops. See what Dad's into. I think he's still having some issues with his sprayers. So might have to help him try to see if we can't diagnose that problem. This is really starting to get old and a pain in the butt. Well, I wasn't here when I left. It's not here now. It ran away. Highway equipment, they did bring down a rogator. There's a couple of us that are interested in looking at it. They've got a couple rogator customers fairly close to us that are also interested in looking at this sprayer. So Dad's never drove a rogator. We do have a history with Agco sprayers going back to spray coops, but that's been a long time ago. And like I said, we have no experience in a rogator, and this is the first time we've ran a rear mount boom since 2007, 2006, somewhere in there. So it'll take a little bit of getting used to, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that uses the same display that the 1038 uses. So should be interesting seeing Dad try to get used to that monitor. Population's a little thick right there.
I can turn my sump on and my pump on. Can increase the deep. Low on liquid.
Alright, we're just getting this sprayer set up. This was a brand new sprayer. It never had nozzles on it yet, so we put 2 sets of nozzles on. We've got a fungicide nozzle and a herbicide nozzle. Just real quick, we're going to check to make sure these fungicide nozzles are not going to spray into the boom. So do a quick little test. I think we're going to spray with this tomorrow. I don't think we're going to do anything with it today. I think our salesman's name's Alan Cutter. He's the self-propelled sprayer salesman for Ohio Ag. He's going to come down tomorrow, I think, ride with Dad, show him how to use the sprayer and all that good stuff. You can see here, there's water dripping off the boom. So I guess they make an extension for this nozzle to hang down here. And that's what we're going to have to do so we're not wasting fungicide, getting the even rate that we want to get on there. Now we got to take all those nozzles back off, which it's not a big deal. I don't know if you can see that plane over there. There he is. He's getting a little closer. He's turning. We're having a crop duster put on fungicide for us. I don't have a good enough camera for you to see it, unfortunately, but it is the season. I heard some guys at the donut shop when me and Emmy were eating lunch. They were speculating on what those planes. There's one helicopter in one of the neighbors' fields doing the exact same thing, speculating on what they were doing. I said, well, I don't know why them farmers are paying them guys to put spray their fields. They got sprayers. So I told them, well, they don't have high clearance sprayers, and fungicide's a very time sensitive thing. They thought they were just spraying on herbicides. But, yep, it's fungicide season.